you are about to listen to is me, Pastor Michael Bowman, as I think out loud about and try to apply the scripture to anything and everything that comes to mind. This usually happens in my car, so jump in and let's talk. Well, here in Wisconsin, it is in the negative degrees, and you can probably hear my car trying to work all the harder because it is so cold out. I was thinking today that I would talk about a couple of what have really become hermeneutical principles for me in my understanding of the scripture and how to apply it and how to meditate on it, how to understand it. The first of those is what I sometimes refer to as get in the car and drive. And what I mean by that is that when I come to a biblical idea or a biblical truth, I want to get inside of it and see where it takes me in order to see how it's going to change how I live, how I think about the world, how I want to interact in my varying relationships with others, how it's going to affect me as a pastor. I just want to get inside of it and think through. Thou shalt not covet. Okay, how does that affect how I interact with others? Where is the logical conclusion in my life for this? I use this too as I use it anytime I try to understand an idea, any kind of philosophy, any kind of worldview. I want to see where it takes you. I want to see where it's going to end up. And you can't always know that right away. Sometimes it takes a long time meditating on a passage of scripture or marinating in an idea before you really understand where exactly it drives you. But the idea is just that I would like to see where this goes. Does it even go? If I have some idea about the scripture, how I can better understand it, or maybe I've thought of some new interpretation of a passage that I've not personally discovered yet. Maybe I've read it, maybe it's just something I've thought as I've been reading the text and thought, perhaps, this is what Jesus means. Perhaps this is what the apostles meant when they wrote this. I will try to think through, where will this end up taking me if I follow it all the way out? If I just apply it consistently, what will this change in my life? What will this change in my thinking? It's almost a kind of thinking of all the different possibilities of an idea that's presented to you. A second principle that has more or less become a hermeneutical principle that I use, and really a way that I not just study and understand and apply the scripture, but also something I just use in life in general, is what I maybe would refer to as as big as the universe is small as an atom principle. And I'm not even sure that I can begin to describe what I mean by this, but it comes out in any conversation you will have with me likely about the scripture. But what I mean by it is that if you marinate in, if you really meditate upon a passage long enough, there's something that can happen where, one, you can see how it connects to everything else. This is the universe picture, the backing way, way, way out, and you see how everything connects to everything else. You'll see that the waters of creation are like the waters that brought a new kind of creation through decreation in the flood. And that these waters connect to the idea of baptism, that these waters connect to the idea of birth itself, passing through water in the womb. And all of these things are going to connect in various ways. And you can see this big picture where all of this, from the beginning of Scripture to the end, from the beginning of creation to the end, all of it ties together. And at the same time, you can take each of these ideas and principles and just look into it on the granular level, on the atomic level even, and go way and zoom way in to its meaning. And I don't just mean, say, grammatically. I don't just mean, you could try to understand the Greek text better, the original language. I mean, you could meditate upon a small phrase of Scripture, just one idea, and you could think about it this whole year, and you would never exhaust it. You could keep going deeper and keep going more specific and dive in all the more. Now, I think you need both of these things. You need to be able to study the Scripture and understand the world as God has made it, both in the general, in the universal, and also in the particular, the atomic. I hope that makes sense. That might just sound like the ravings of a madman. In my head, it makes sense, and it is how I look at the world. And maybe that will come out more as you continue to listen.
Hey guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has been, go ahead and rate it, review it, or share it with a friend, especially if you're in La Crosse, Wisconsin, or the surrounding areas. That helps me expand the audience and hopefully increase the impact of these ideas. If you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns on anything that I just talked about, you can reach me at pastormichaeljbowman@gmail.com. You can find more content from me, as well as information about the church that I pastor at ccc-pca.org. With that, I hope you can enjoy the many blessings of God today. Until next time.